Hey there, Twisters. The time has finally come. We have arrived at my final four of the ugliest NHL jerseys of all time. And if you don't know how exactly we got there, be sure to check out my other videos in this series. Now, before I get started, I just wanted to wish everybody well. I hope that you, your friends, and your family are doing safe wherever you are. So, here we go. We're going to get started in just a little bit, but I wanted to let you know about a giveaway that I'm running in parallel with this video. So, all you got to do in the comments below is between now and Sunday, which is March 30th, post what you think is the ugliest NHL jersey of all time. Please post just one comment though, okay? So what I'll do is, in my Buffalo Sabres jersey unboxing, which will be Wednesday, April 1st, I will select one person at random from this video, from the comments here, and that person will win an ugly jersey of their choice. Now, this is with a little bit of a caveat in that I'm not made of money, so I did find some good, legitimate deals out there, 100% licensed products. So the winner will have their choice of a few different jerseys. There's the Buffalo Sabres Turd Burger. I did find a larger size of the Islanders 2011 alternate. We got the Penguins Vegas Gold, the Coyotes 2003, the Wild 2007 with the red, the Avs, the Reebok jersey from there, the Blackhawks Stadium Series from 2017, the Hurricanes Candy Cane, a couple other ones as well. So if you're interested in winning a jersey, please enter the giveaway by submitting a comment down below. What's the ugliest jersey of all time? Okay? Now make sure that you're staying in the loop as to when I upload my video announcing the winner, which will be part of my Buffalo Sabres jersey unboxing, by hitting the red subscribe button down below and the notifications bell, okay? So without further ado, before I get started with my final four, I wanted to actually preface this with a Twitter poll that I most recently ran. Now, usually when I run Twitter polls, I don't have the biggest following, and so usually if I get 20 or 25 votes, that's awesome. But somehow, in less than a day, I got over 100 votes. So first of all, hats off to you guys. That's freaking awesome. So thanks so much for being part of the community in that sense. And you know what? We had a really close race between my final four picks. But the team that got the most votes, or the jersey, is the 1995 LA Kings Burger King jersey. With 29.2% of the votes, the Vancouver Canucks Flying V was just behind that with 28.3% of the votes, and the Islanders Wordmark 26.4% of the votes. Sabres Turd Burger had 16%. So all in all, pretty close race there. So there isn't like one definitive ugliest jersey of all time, or is there? Let's get into my final four. I'm going to break down the matchups and we'll see what I pick as my finalist. So let's start with our first matchup here, Vancouver Canucks and New York Islanders. And what I did for this was I got a couple other picks for these jerseys just to make sure that I had kind of looked at everything, looked at different angles, saw, everything that I need to know before I make a decision on this. I'm gonna start with the Canucks, okay? So first of all, we're not talking about like a little V logo on the chest or anything like that. This thing goes down to your abdomen. And I mean, I don't know if you call that a logo in the first place. I mentioned that I like the shoulder crest, and I like the fact that they chose a different, unique color scheme. But there are definitely some weird things about this. I don't know why you need to have the numbers like this far down on the jersey. That's so weird. Why did you even choose black, orange, and yellow in the first place when you had blue and green, which are much more representative of the Pacific Northwest? And then with the Islanders, well, first of all, look at this as a blank jersey, right? Remove the numbers. The numbers are just wasted space that's being occupied. But otherwise, you have this word mark, no real unique font to this, kind of a weird color scheme, if I'm honest, even though you are kind of, giving a nod to the Brooklyn Nets, giving a nod to the New York Mets. But yeah, I just don't think those colors work so well together. You've got this weird chevron design at the sleeves there. You've got the trim of the orange around the shoulders. I don't like orange and gray. Orange and black look pretty nice, but I just don't think that these colors really fuse together all that well. It's definitely got a lot of things that I can critique and criticize, but the question is there one thing that kind of stands out about it that puts its hideousness in a category of its own? See, I can say that definitely about Vancouver. You look at the cropping of this jersey, look at the real estate occupied by the yellow portion of the jersey. That just looks so weird. If they had this V cut that came down to maybe about here in the neckline, if they did that and had a plain jersey, other than that, it would look a lot better. So because, again, I can take that V and I can say that that's something that no other team would ever fathom to do just because it's such a disaster. And the Islanders don't really have one element like that so much that really is that unique, because numbers are something that we've seen in that era. Atlanta Thrashers being another team I can name off the top of my head. Because of that, I am definitely moving the Vancouver Canucks Flying V to the final championship match. Now on the other side of the bracket, 1995 LA Kings Burger King, 2013 Buffalo Sabres Turd Burger. Let's start with the Sabres here. So I didn't even notice this until now. But if you look at the interior collar, look at this. Belief, commitment, character, discipline, trust, excellence. Does any of that speak to the Buffalo Sabres at that time, or even now for that matter? It's sad to say, but that's a hard no. One thing that I do like about their jersey, and I'll credit Kale from VSP Hockey for pointing this out, is that the captain's letter, even though it's on the shoulders, or on below the shoulder, I guess, it's actually a really cool emblem. You got the crossed swords and the C above it. It's a little bit like Cleveland Cavaliers, but nonetheless, I think that looks really cool. You've got this Buffalo text up at the top, which is entirely unnecessary because you have the classic Sabres logo down below. An awkward cropping. Well, you got the neckline here, right? And then you have the navy that still kind of comes down below that and rides up the shoulders. And that's why it looks like a cape. And to me, that's incredibly weird. So the LA Kings, weird gradient sash thing. Just a really weird color scheme too, trying to fuse the original colors with the old colors. It does not work here whatsoever. That's what I think. The numbers, I have no idea what this is. It looks like something out of a 90s cartoon or something like that. The shoulder logos are the original logo, kind of like the Islanders. But again, it doesn't fit in with whatever the hell they're going for here. It's a hodgepodge. It's a hot mess. The logo itself, I've seen worse out there, sure. But the Kings have never, at that point had never even tried a personal representation of a king. And they haven't done that ever since. They've been smart by going with a crown usually for most of it, or an emblem or something. Whereas here, it's disastrous. This gradient thing, I don't know what the heck they were going for there. Now, what if they had the gradient kind of partially, and then they had the logo and the gradient the rest of the way? I think that would have looked okay. But, there were other weird jersey designs at this time, like the Fisherman jersey. Eventually the Peyote jersey for the Coyotes was there. The Anaheim Ducks Wild Wing. There were a lot of ugly jerseys from that era. And it's funny because a lot of them had something different going on here. Let's not forget that. See, Buffalo, they were the only team that kind of did something like this during this era. There are other teams that, have sleeve designs or, piping or something like that ride all the way down the shoulder here. But here it goes from navy and then abruptly to gray, which looks really weird. I think Buffalo actually, as bad of a design as it is, I would argue that Buffalo's design is at least more cohesive than LA's design. Whereas I think, despite having the main logos up here, I think it's a mess. At least Buffalo's is straightforward. You see the logo, you see the numbers, you see, where the colors divide. It's not a big margin by any means. But the Kings are going to the final round. So that means our championship match for the ugliest jersey of all time, the most dubious of honors that one may ever get here on Twisted Wrister Hockey, is between this 1995 LA Kings Burger King and the 1978 Vancouver Canucks. And again, these were the top two vote getters on the Twitter poll. I knew that one of these would definitely be on this list. The other one I was willing to bet would make a deep run. And clearly Cortana knows who she would vote for. But do I? The Canucks played in an era when nobody had anything like this. There's a reason why, right? But somehow this jersey made it a few years. Whereas LA, this jersey lasted 1 year. Ultimately for me, I have a gut. I might be thin, but I have a gut. And this whole time, it's been telling me one response. It's giving me one answer for this before I even started producing the series. I knew in my mind what I think I would actually move all the way to this point and crown it as the champion. So I'm going to stick with that. The Kings were part of an era in which you had these terrible alternates. Some of them lasted for only one season. The Canucks, somehow they decided to say, you know what, blue and green, that's not doing it for us. That's not sexy right now. Let's try something else. I know probably people liked it at the time. If you watch The Hockey Guy, he'll even admit that was his favorite jersey at the time. And once the mid-'80s had rolled around, the Canucks decided to actually go back to a semi-more conventional jersey design, using that skate logo. And it looked good. But the thing is that they never did anything else that would, in any way, shape, or form, resemble this atrocity of a jersey. The Kings just said, okay, we won't do that alternate anymore. We'll hang on to the chevron design, and then we'll, kind of fuse the colors again later on, with something like this. And it turned out and it worked well. It was a mistake that they were able to recover from. But for the Canucks, this is something that would haunt them for rebrands and rebrands to come. And for that reason, the ugliest NHL jersey of all time, in my opinion, is the 1978 Vancouver Canucks Flying V. Boom! There it is. That's it. That's it for this series. How about that? Now remember, enter the giveaway. Comment below the ugliest jersey of all time. This contest is open to anybody, okay? See the video description for further rules, okay? You have until this Sunday. And then on Wednesday, April 1st, I will announce the winner in my Buffalo Sabres jersey unboxing. Thank you so much for tuning into this whole series. I've had a good time. I hope you have as well. So stick around, subscribe, notifications, join the Twisted family, and let's have some fun poking fun at other jerseys in the near future. Okay, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. This has been Nick with Twisted Wrister Hockey. Stay safe out there.